Secret 7 on the Trail by Enid Blyton. Dramatized by Edward Phillips.
The Secret 7 were holding their very last meeting of the holidays before going back to school for the autumn term. As Peter said to his sister Janet, it wasn't worth holding any more meetings until Christmas, since there was little time for adventures during term time. Peter and Janet were waiting now in the little shed at the bottom of the garden for the other members of the society to arrive so the meeting could begin. And they were beginning to get a little impatient.
I do wish the others would hurry up. It'll be lunchtime soon, and I have an important announcement.
Yes, all right, Scamper. They should be here soon. I know you're anxious to start.
I do hope they'll agree to this being the last meeting till Christmas. We'd better collect all the badges from them, and then put them in a safe place. If we don't, someone's bound to lose one.
Or that silly sister of Jack's will take his and wear it herself. Susie can be very annoying at times. She's always pestering Jack to let her join the society.
Well, we can't let her join. Apart from anything else, that would make it the Secret 8. It doesn't sound the same somehow. Hello, there's someone now. Password.
Pickled onions.
Come in, Barbara. Got your badge?
Yes, it's a new one. My old one got very dirty, so I made this.
Good. Password.
Pickled onions.
How many times am I to tell you not to yell out the password? Now everyone in hearing distance will know it.
Well, you yelled out password at the top of your voice. George had forgotten it anyway. He thought it was pickled cabbage.
Well, never mind. Now who's still missing?
There's me and you, George, Jack, Barbara and Pam. Colin's missing. Oh, here he comes now.
Password.
Pickled onions.
Come in, Colin. Good. Now we're all here, we'll get down to business. As soon as Janet pours out the lemonade. Buck up, Janet. Now, the first thing I have to say is this is to be the last meeting and...
Oh, no.
What?
Disband the Secret 7, Peter.
Please, let me speak. It's to be the last meeting till the Christmas holidays. Tomorrow all of us boys go back to school, and the girls go back to their school the day after. Nothing ever happens in term time, and anyway, we're too busy to look for an adventure.
But something might happen, Peter. You just never know. I think it's a silly idea to stop the Secret 7 for the term time. I do, really.
Yes,
I do.
Yeah. I like belonging to it and wearing my badge and remembering the password.
Well, you can still wear your badges if you like, though I had thought of collecting them today and keeping them till our next holidays.
I'm not giving mine up, and you needn't be afraid I'll let my sister Susie get it either, because I've got a perfectly good hiding place for it.
And just suppose something turns up in term time. Suppose one of us stumbled on something strange, something that ought to be looked into. What would we do if the Secret 7 was disbanded till Christmas?
Nothing ever turns up in term time, and anyway, I've got to work jolly hard this term. My father wasn't at all keen on my last report.
All right, you work hard and keep out of the society till Christmas. I'll run it with Janet. It can be the Secret 6 till then.
No, I'm the head of the society. But seeing that you all seem to disagree with me, I'll say this. We won't have any regular meetings, like we have been having, but only call one if anything does happen to turn up.
We keep our badges then, and have a password. We're still a very live society, even if nothing happens, and we call a meeting at once if something does.
Yes. Good idea.
All right, that's what we'll do. Now, what about a new password?
How about Scamper's name? Scamper would be a good password.
Scamper is no good. You see, every time anyone gave the password, Scamper would think he was being called. Well, let's have my dog's name then. Rover.
I've got a better idea. What about my aunt's dog's name? Cheeky Charlie.
It's all right.
Yes, that's a good one.
Cheeky Charlie. Yes, we'll have that. Nobody would ever think of that for a password. Right. Cheeky Charlie is our new official password. Well, you probably won't have to use it till Christmas holidays, so don't forget it.
School began for the boys next day, and the girls went back the day after. All the Secret Seven wore their little badges, and the other children looked enviously at them, wishing they could have one too. Jack's tiresome sister Susie was continually agitating to become a member, and one day Jack got so annoyed with her that he told her to go off and form a secret society of her own. That was an unfortunate thing to say, because that is exactly what Susie did the very next day. And that evening, when she got home from school, she couldn't wait to tell Jack all about
And
it.
it's a much better society than the Secret Seven. We've named ourselves after the famous 5 in the 5 books. There's me and Kate and Harry and Jeff and Sam. Our badges are bigger. We've got a splendid password, which I wouldn't dream of telling you. And we have a secret sign, too. You haven't got that.
What's your secret sign? I've never seen you make it.
Of course not. It's secret. And we're meeting every single Saturday morning. And what's more, we've got an adventure going already.
I don't believe you. Anyway, you're just a copycat. It was our idea.
Well, you wouldn't let me belong to your silly Secret 7. Now I belong to the famous 5. And it's true, we have got an adventure going.
Jack didn't know whether to believe Susie or not. He went gloomily to Peter and told him all that Susie had said. And Peter told him that it was up to him to try and find out if the famous 5 really did have an adventure going. The famous 5 met in the summer house in the garden. So, one Saturday morning, Jack hid in the laurel bush round the back to see if he could overhear what was said and find out just what was going on. But, unfortunately for him, Susie was looking out of the bedroom window just at that moment, and she saw him squeezing into the bushes. She gazed down in a rage, and then, suddenly, she smiled. She rushed downstairs to meet her 4 friends at the front gate before they could get to the summer house.
Susie, what's up?
It's Jack. He's hidden himself in the laurel bush at the back of the summer house to listen to all we say.
Let's go and pull him out.
No, I've got a better idea. Let's go down to the summer house, whisper the password so that he can't hear it, and when we're inside, begin to talk as if we really had found an adventure.
But why?
But don't you see? Jack will believe it all. We could talk about places, like that old house up the hill, Tigger's barn, and we can mention names like Stumpy Dick and Twisty Tom, and Jack will think we're in the middle of something, and he'll tell the Secret 7.
And they'll go and investigate, and there's nothing there.
Exactly.
Oh, yes, that's right.
We could go to Tickle's barn ourselves and wait till the Secret 7 come and have a good laugh at them.
Right. Come on, then. Just back me up in all I say and be as solemn as you can. I'll go down first, and you can all come one by one. And don't forget to whisper the password, because Jack mustn't hear that. He may creep up to the window to hear better, but even if you see him, don't let on. And that's why this is a very secret and important meeting. I found out where those villains are meeting. It's at Tigger's barn, that old deserted house up on the hill. Stumpy Dick and Twisty Tom will both be there. They're planning something we must find out about. So 1 or 2 of us must go to Tigger's barn and hide ourselves so we can hear what they're up to.
I'll go with you, Susie.
All right, Jeff. You and I will go together. Of course, it'll be very dangerous.
Oh, we don't care about that. After all, we are the famous 5. When is the meeting to be?
Well, I found out that they'll be meeting there on Tuesday night.
Right. We'll go up there on Tuesday then, after school.
Well, famous 5, that's all for today. Meet again when you get your orders. And remember, don't say a word to anyone. Whatever happens, we mustn't let the Secret 7 find out about this.
Jack crept carefully out of the laurel bush and dusted himself down. He debated with himself what to do. Was it important enough to call a meeting of the Secret 7? No. He would go and find Peter and tell him first. Peter could decide whether to have a meeting or not. On the way to Peter's house, he ran into George.
Hello, Jack. You look very solemn. What's up? Have you had a row at home or something?
No, but I found out that the famous 5 are in the middle of something big.
Oh, is it important? I mean, your sister Susie's a bit of a nuisance, isn't she? You don't want to pay much attention to her.
Yes, I know, but she's clever too, and there's no reason why the famous 5 shouldn't be onto something. It would be absolutely maddening if they should hit on something important before we did. I'm on the way to tell Peter now.
I'll go with you. We'll see what Peter has to say about it.
Well, all I can say is that I think you've been properly taken in, Jack. Surely you didn't fall for all that nonsense. They were pretending. I expect that's what they do at their silly meetings. Pretend they're in the middle of some adventure and kid themselves they're clever.
But it all sounded absolutely serious. They had no idea I was listening, and Jeff was ready to go and investigate on Tuesday evening.
Jeff? Can you imagine that little coward going to look for a mouse? Let alone Stumpy Dick and the other fellow, whatever his name is. He'd run a mile before he got to Tigger's barn at night. That sister of yours was just putting up a bit of make-believe, Jack. Silly kid stuff, like pretending to play at Red Indians or something, that's all.
Then you don't think it's worth calling a meeting of the Secret Seven and asking for some of us to go down to Tigger's barn on Tuesday night?
No, I don't.
But suppose there is something behind it all, Peter?
Well, look here, Jack. If you do see Susie and Jeff creeping off somewhere on Tuesday evening, you can follow them and see what they're up to. But they won't go. You'll see I'm right.
All right, I'll keep an eye on Susie on Tuesday evening. If she stays home, I'll know you're right. But if she goes off by herself, or Jeff comes to call for her, I know there's something up, and I'll follow them.
I'll come with you if you like.
I shan't know what time they'll go, though. I know. You come to tea with me on Tuesday, George. Then we can follow Susie and Jeff at once, if they slip off. And if they don't go out, then we'll know it's all nonsense.
Right.
Will you let me know what happens? I'll bet you anything you like. It's nothing at all.
When Jack got home, he went straight to his mother and asked her if he could have George to tea on Tuesday. His mother said yes. Susie was there, reading in a corner. She pricked up her ears at once and grinned in delight. She guessed that Jack and George meant to follow her and Jeff if they went to Tigger's barn. All right. She would take the joke a little further. She asked her mother if she could have Jeff to tea on Tuesday too, and her mother agreed. She noticed a gleam in Jack's eye when he heard that Jeff was coming to tea as well. Tuesday afternoon came round, and Jack, George and Jeff set off for Jack's house after school. Tea passed uneventfully, and then Mother put on her hat and coat and left for a committee meeting, telling the children to behave themselves while she was gone. As soon as the front door closed, Susie looked at Jeff and smiled.
Jeff, come and see our new clock. It has a little man who comes out at the top and strikes a hammer on an anvil to mark every quarter of an hour. It's nearly 7:15. Let's go and watch him come out.
All right, Susie.
I think this is it, George.
Do you suppose they're really going?
Yes, they'll probably get their coats out of the hall cupboard. We'll hear the front door bang as they go out. Then we'll give them a minute or two and follow them. We know which direction they'll be going in, so it shouldn't be difficult to keep track of them. Then, when they... That's the front door. Now, let them get clear of the house. We don't want to track them too closely, or they'll see us.
3 minutes later, George and Jack closed the front door behind them and set off down the garden path. It was fairly light outside because of the rising moon, but they took a torch with them just in case. There was no sign of Jeff and Susie, but they turned right at the bottom of the road and headed in the direction of Tigger's barn. Now, the reason why there was no sign of Jeff and Susie was because they were still in the house. They had decided not to bother going themselves to Tigger's barn. The joke would work just as well without that. They were now hiding behind the big hall curtains, hugging themselves with glee to think of the marvellous trick they had played on the Secret Seven. Tigger's barn was about a mile away. It was up on a lonely hill hemmed in by trees. Once it had been part of a farmhouse which had been burnt down. It was now only a tumble-down shell of a house used by tramps who needed shelter. Children had played in it until they had been forbidden to in case the old walls gave way. When Jack and George arrived at the top of the hill, everything was still and quiet in the moonlight, and there wasn't a soul to be seen.
There's no sign of him, George. I thought we'd caught up with him by now.
Well, all I can say is they must have taken bicycles. They couldn't have gone so quickly otherwise. Has Susie a bike?
Yes, and I bet she's lent Jeff mine.
What do we do now?
Let's see if we can get inside. The doors are all bolted up, but there's no glass in any of the windows, so it shouldn't be difficult. Let's try this one. Steady now. Come on. Put your foot on these bricks. For heaven's sake, George, be careful.
Sorry, Jack.
Are you all right?
Yes.
Well, we're in anyway. Now let's not try to make any more noise. If those men are here...
What was that?
It's just an owl.
It's 2 owls, or 2 birds, anyway. Jack, you don't think it's those men signalling to one another, do you?
You may be right, George. Come on, we'd better hide quickly. Over there in that big fireplace. There's plenty of room, and it's dark in there. If we're lucky, we won't be spotted.
Where on earth have Susie and Jeff got to?
Never mind about them now. Get as far into the corner as you can.
Jack, look! Outside the window, someone's shining a torch.
Shh, don't make a sound.
Come on, Zeb. Through this window. Give Larry the signal again to tell him the coast's clear. Over here, Larry.
All clear, Joe.
Yes. Come on in. We'll go into the big room. There are boxes to sit on there and the light won't shine out so much as it would from this room. We can't be too careful.
Jack, there is a meeting here after all. The famous 5R onto something.
Listen, George, I'm going to creep across the floor and go to the door over there and see if I can hear what they're saying.
No, don't. They're sure to hear you coming.
I've got rubber-soled shoes on. I shan't make a sound. You stay here, George. I shan't be long. Don't move or make a sound.
Jack crept silently off, and the minutes ticked slowly by. George waited anxiously, growing more and more worried. What on earth was Jack doing? He should have been back by now. George was now completely bewildered. What was that crash? And why had the men stopped talking? What had happened to Jack? He waited for a few moments, and then finally he could stand it no longer. He tiptoed out of the fireplace and over to the door, moving as quietly as a mouse. He put his hands out to feel if Jack was there. He wasn't. Not a sound disturbed the stillness of the night, and George could feel his knees beginning to tremble. Could Jack be inside the room? And where were the men? Were they still there, or had they gone? Cautiously, George put out his hand and pushed on the door. It moved slowly open. And then suddenly George remembered the secret 7 password.
Cheeky Charlie? Hello, Cheeky Charlie?
All right, Joe, I've got him. I told you I heard a noise.
Hey, switch your torch on, Zeb. And yours, Larry. Oh, you were right, Zeb. There was someone there. Now then, what's all this? What do you know about Charlie? Come on, boy, answer my question. We heard you saying Cheeky Charlie. You got a message from him?
Well,
What's the matter with you, boy?
Ow.
Have you got a message from Charlie or not?
There won't be no message from Charlie, Joe. Why should there be? He's waiting for news from us, isn't he?
Oh.
Here, boy, did Charlie send you ask for news?
Well, yes.
I can't think why Charlie uses such a dumb kid to send out. Got a pencil, Larry? I'll scribble a message.
A kid that can't open his mouth and speak a word is just the right messenger for us. Ha! Look, you tell Charlie what we've decided, Zeb. Don't forget that he's to mark the tarpaulin with white lines at one corner.
Right, here you are, kid. Take this to Charlie, and don't you go calling him Cheeky Charlie. Little boys that are saucy get their ears boxed.
Yeah.
Leave him alone, Zeb. Where's Charlie now, kid? At Dallings or Hammond's?
Dallings.
Right. Now, let's clear off, lads. Mind you deliver that message, boy.
Yes, sir, I will.
Come on, then, let's go. Let's hope we get a nice foggy night for it. Preferably with no moon. We don't want anybody poking their noses.
George, is that you?
Jack, I've had a frightful time. You shouldn't have gone off and left me like that. Where on earth have you been?
I was listening outside the door, and I fell into that big cupboard out there. It shut on me, and I couldn't hear another word. I didn't dare move, in case they came to look for me. Then I heard them coming out just now, and I came to look for you.
Oh, I see. Those men must have heard you. That's why they switched off their torches and waited. I walked in on them and...
They saw you? What did they do?
It's really awfully peculiar. You see, I whispered our password, Cheeky Charlie, hoping you would hear me. But they heard me instead, and they asked me if I had a message from him.
From who?
From Cheeky Charlie.
You mean there really is someone called Cheeky Charlie?
Yes. Well, Charlie, anyway. And Jack, they gave me a message for him. I've got it here.
Let's have a look.
No, let's get out of here first. We can read it at home.
Wait a minute. What about Susie and Jeff?
I'd forgotten about them. Where on earth can they be? Jeff, Susie, come on out wherever you are.
They're not here, George. They've disappeared.
Well, let's get out of here. We can find out what's happened when we get back home.
At 5 o'clock the following afternoon, every single member of the Secret Seven was gathered in the shed in Peter's garden. All of them had raced home quickly after school, gobbled their teas and come rushing to the special emergency meeting. Peter addressed them all solemnly.
Now, before we start, Scamper, sit by the door and keep guard. Bark if you hear anything at all. This is a very important meeting. You know now that we weren't going to call another meeting till the Christmas holidays, unless something urgent happened. Well, it has. Now you've all been given details of how Jack overheard the famous five at their meeting in the summer house, and how he and George went to Tigger's barn to find out what was going on. In a way, I was right about the famous fives being a complete pretense. We know now that the whole thing was a set-up, and Susie and Jeff admitted they never went to Tigger's barn at all. But just by chance there was some truth in it, though Susie didn't know that.
That's right. There was a meeting at Tigger's barn, and I nearly got caught. But strangely enough, there really seems to be someone called Charlie in the gang. When they heard me giving the password, they thought I'd come from him.
But our password is only the name of a dog. Fancy there being a man called Cheeky Charlie too.
They gave me a note to take to him. I've got it here. It says, "Everything's ready and going okay. Can't see that anything can go wrong, but a fog would be very welcome, as you can guess. Larry's looking after the points. Don't forget the lorry and get the tarpaulin truck cover, marked with white at one corner. That'll save time in looking for the right load. It's signed Zeb."
It's quite clear that we've hit upon something very strange here. The question now is, do the Secret Seven think we should try and solve the mystery?
Of course.
Of course we would.
Right, I agree. But we have got to be very, very careful this time, or else the famous five will try and interfere, and they might spoil everything. Nobody must say a single word about this to anyone. Is that agreed?
Agreed.
Now, first let's sort out all the things that Jack and George heard. Then we'll try to make out what they mean.
Well, as I told you, I heard the men talking, but their voices were very low, and I could only catch a few words now and again.
What were they?
They kept saying something about loading and unloading, and they kept on and on mentioning points.
What sort of points?
I've no idea. They mentioned figures too. They said 6-2 quite a lot of times, and then they said maybe 7-10. And then they said there mustn't be a moon, and something about darkness and fog. Honestly, I couldn't make head or tail of it. Oh, and I think they had a map of some sort.
What else did you hear?
That's all. I fell into the cupboard then, and when the door shut on me, I couldn't hear another word.
And all I can add is that the men asked me if Cheeky Charlie was at Dallings or Hammond's. I said Dallings, but goodness knows what they meant.
Perhaps they are names of factories or workshops of some kind.
Yes, we might be able to trace those. Now this note mentions points again, and talks about trucks and lorries. I think some sort of robbery is being planned. The question is, what are they going to steal, and when?
Shall we take the note to the police, Peter?
Not yet. I'd like to see if we can't do something about it ourselves before we tell any grown-ups. After all, we've managed lots of affairs very well before. I don't see why we shouldn't be able to do something about this one too. We've got quite a lot to go on, really. We know the names of 4 men. Joe, Zeb, which is probably short for Zebedee, a most unusual name, Larry, probably short for Lawrence, and Charlie, or Cheeky Charlie.
Yes, and we know that Charlie's at Dallings or Hammond's. What do we do first, Peter?
Well, if, as Colin suggested, those are the names of factories or workshops, we should be able to find out if there are any of those names in the area. Janet, run up to the house and fetch the telephone directory so as we can check.
Right.
I think it would be helpful too if we try to find the man called Zebedee. There can't be many Zebedees in this district.
Yes, but how would we do that? We can't go around asking every man we meet if he's called Zebedee. It would be like looking for a needle in a haystack.
Peter, I've just thought of something. Those men at Tigger's barn kept talking about points. Do you think they meant points on a railway line?
Of course! Points are used to switch trains from one line to another.
So perhaps there's a train that contains something they want to steal. And they're going to switch it to another line.
Yes! I think we may be getting somewhere.
Then it must be a goods train.
And the tarpaulin would be covering up the load. Do you remember? It had to be marked with white at the corner so that the men would know it.
Yes, they wouldn't have to waste time then looking into every truck to see which was the right one. Sometimes there are 30, 40 trucks on a goods train. I've just thought of something else. Those figures the men kept saying, 6:2 and 7:10. Couldn't they be the times of the trains?
Oh, yes. Like when we say Daddy's going to catch the 6:20 home or the 7:12. There must be a train that starts somewhere at 6:2. Or arrives somewhere then.
And they want a dark and foggy night, because then it would be easy to switch the train into some siding. The engine driver wouldn't see what was happening. He'd go on till he came to some signal, and then the men would be there ready to take whatever it is from the marked truck.
Peter, I really think we ought to tell somebody.
No, let's see what else we can find out first. Remember, this is only what we think is going to happen. We don't know for sure yet. I think what we should do next is to get hold of a timetable and see if there's any train that arrives anywhere at 2 minutes past 6.
That's no good. Goods trains aren't in the timetables.
Well, what about one or two of us going down to the station and asking a few questions about goods trains, and what time they come in, and where from? Then if we can find out where Dallings and Hammonds are...
Here you are, Peter, the telephone directory.
Good. We've decided the men are talking about switching a goods train onto a branch line, Janet, so they could steal something from one of the trucks. The thing is, what? Now let's see what we can find. I'll look for Dallings first. Dale, Dalglish, Dalling, Dallish, Dallings! Here it is! Oh, there are 3 Dallings. There's a Mrs. A. Dalling, Rose Cottage, Hubley, and E.A. Dalling of Manor House, Tullington, and Messrs. E. Dalling, manufacturers of lead goods, of Petlington.
The manufacturers sound the best bet.
Let's look at the H's. Here we are. Hall. Goodness, what a lot of people are called Hall. Hallett, Hammers, Hamming, Hammond. I say, look at this. Hammond and Co. Limited, lead manufacturers, Petlington. There you are, 2 firms dealing in lead, one called Dalling and one called Hammond. Cheeky Charlie must be something to do with both.
Lead's very valuable, isn't it, Peter? I'm always reading about thieves going and stealing it off church roofs.
Yes. Now, what have we got so far? It looks as if Cheeky Charlie might be going to send a load of lead off somewhere in a railway truck. And Zeb and the others are going to switch the train to a sideline and steal it.
Cheeky Charlie must have quite a high position if he's in both firms. I wonder what his real name is.
We'll worry about that later. Let's get down to the station now, while we have the ideas still fresh in our minds. Colin, you come with me. Jack and George have had plenty of excitement so far, but you haven't had very much. The rest of you, see if you can come up with some ideas about finding this Zebedee. Come on, Colin. I have an idea the railway station is going to prove very helpful. Excuse me. Will there be any goods trains coming through tonight?
There's one in 15 minutes' time, sonny. Why?
We like watching goods trains going through. I once counted 47 trucks pulled by a goods engine.
Oh, the longest one comes in here in the evening. How many trucks do you reckon the 6-2 has as a rule, Zeb?
Oh, well, maybe 30, maybe 40, depends.
Did you hear that, Peter? He called him Zeb. Do you think...
Shh! What time did you say this goods train's come through?
Oh, about 6 o'clock. 6:02 it's supposed to be, but sometimes it's late.
Where does it come from?
Oh, lots of places. Idleston, Hayley, Garton Park, Petlington.
Petlington? Why?
Petlington, yes. Go on. Where else?
Oh, Tapley, Singleton, Hotland Green.
I suppose the points are further up the line, are they?
Points? Oh, you wouldn't ask my mate about them. He's in charge of switching goods trains from one part of the line to another. They often have to go into sidings, you see.
Does he switch the 6-2 into a siding, or does it go straight through on the main line?
Oh, straight through. Larry only switches the goods trains that have to be unloaded near here. The 6-2 goes right on to Swindon.
I wish I could see, Larry working the points. It must be fun. I expect the switches are quite different from the ones on my model railway at home.
Oh, yeah. You bet they are. Ours takes a moving. Yeah, you certainly ask a lot of questions.
Oh, well, we're very interested in railways, you see.
Well, why don't you take a walk up the line there and ask Larry to show you the points? Just tell him Zeb said it was OK, but keep to the path now. Don't go walking on the lines unless you want to get flattened.
Thanks very much. We'll do that.
Bit nosy, weren't they?
Oh, they're only kids interested in trains. They're harmless.
Excuse me, Larry.
What do you want?
Zeb said it would be all right for us to watch you operating the points.
Oh, he did he? Well, all right. But you keep out of the way. Now, you pull this lever for that line over there, see? Yeah, and watch how the rails move so that they lead to the other line instead of letting the train go straight through on this one.
And where does the branch line lead off to?
A goods yard, about 100 yards up the line. Any trains that have to be unloaded are sent up there. Not that it's much used these days.
Does the 6-2 go up there?
A 6-2? No, it goes straight through. Never has any goods for this district. It goes on to Swindon.
Does it come through every night?
Tuesdays and Fridays.
What does it carry?
Oh, all kinds of things. There's usually about 20 or 30 tracks, sometimes more.
Do you get a lot of thefts?
Thefts? What do you mean?
Well, I mean, they're open trucks, aren't they? And I should have thought...
Oh, yes. There's been a lot of stealing lately. Even a car taken out of one track, would you believe? Beats me how they did it. Oh, yes, there's quite a few dishonest folk about these days. And they must be a pretty smart bunch, though. Well, I can't stand here chatting. I've got work to do. Don't hang about here now. And keep off them lines.
On the following evening, there was yet another emergency meeting of the Secret Seven, and this time excitement was running high. It seemed that they were now on the verge of solving the mystery at last.
Well, we've certainly made a lot of progress since we last met. We're pretty certain that we've identified Zeb and Larry. It's a pity George wasn't at the station to make sure, but from the descriptions we gave him, he thinks they were definitely at Tigger's barn. We know about the 6-2 goods train, which comes through from Petlington. I think we've got a good idea now what's going to happen. Larry is going to operate the points and divert the train up into the goods yards. It's a small place with hardly anyone around most of the time, an ideal spot for a robbery. The gang will probably be waiting there, and they'll make straight for the truck with the specially marked tarpaulin.
And then they'll take the lead, if that's what they're after, and load it onto a lorry and drive off.
What about the driver of the train and the guard?
They've probably got plans for them, but that's something we don't know about at the moment.
Peter, don't you think it's time we told the police?
Well, we don't really know just enough yet, Janet. For one thing, we don't know when the robbery is going to take place. If what we've worked out is right, it must be on a Tuesday or a Friday, those being the only nights the 6-2 comes through. We don't know which Tuesday or Friday, but we do know that it's got to be dark, preferably foggy. I vote that we wait and see what the weather's like on Tuesday, and if it's foggy, we go up to that goods yard and see what happens. Agreed?
The weekend dragged by, and the Secret Seven couldn't concentrate on anything but the state of the weather. Tuesday morning came round at last, and when they looked out of their windows at breakfast time, what a sight met their eyes. It was a typical November morning. The fog had come down overnight, and none of them could see further than the end of their gardens. They got through the day somehow, and by evening the fog was thicker than ever. They all met at their headquarters after tea and set off for the goods yard, convinced that if there was going to be a robbery, tonight just had to be the night. As they neared the goods yard, the thick fog swirled round them, and their torches could hardly pierce it.
Here we are. Now, everybody keep as quiet as possible. And Scamper, don't you dare bark.
I bet Zeb and the rest are pleased about this fog.
Come on, keep close to the fence. We'll see if we can slip through the gates. It's them. Can anybody see where they are?
Over there, look. The whole gang's there. Zeb, Joe, and that must be Charlie himself. Where's Larry?
He must be down on the points. Let's get a bit closer and see if we can hear what they're saying.
Yeah, I reckon we should be here. Any minute now. Hey, what time is it now?
About 6:30, boss. She should be along any minute.
Right, this is what we'll do. When the train gets here, we'll flag her down and tell the driver he's on the wrong line. We'll pretend to be surprised to see him here. We'll tell him he'd better stay on this sideline till the fog clears and he can get orders and go back. Then we'll take him off to that shed and the guard too, and hot up some tea or something. Zeb, you keep him there, and as soon as Larry gets here, we'll get on with the job.
Boss, I think she's coming now.
Here, what's up? You're on a sideline. You must have been diverted. You are the 6-2, aren't you? Yeah, that's right. There must have been some mistake at the points. We should have gone straight through. Where are we? In the goods yard. Oh, don't worry, you're well out of the way of the mainline traffic. Better not move, though, till you get orders. This fog's terrible. I suppose you're right. Is this your card? Yeah.
What's happening?
We've been diverted. We're in the goods yard, and we'll probably be here for the night. My missus is expecting me for supper.
We'll be lucky to be on for breakfast at this rate.
Oh, come over to the shed. There's an oil stove there, and we'll light up and have a cup of something hot. Don't you worry about telephoning for orders. I'll do that.
Who are you?
I am in charge of this yard. It's lucky we're here. I bet your orders will be to stay here for the night. Here, Zeb, see if you can find a shakedown for 'em somewhere. OK, I'll just kill the engine.
Come on in, over this way. Let's get something hot inside.
Right, start up the lorry, Joe, and take it to the truck. Remember, it's the one with the white tarpaulin.
Hey, who's that? It's me, boss. Larry. Everything okay?
Yeah, we'll make a charm. Now, let's get to work.
They're at the truck now.
Yes, and they're starting to unload it.
Can you see what it is?
It looks like sheets of lead, all right.
Peter, when are we going to telephone the police? Don't you think now would be a good time?
Yes, Janet. There's a telephone in the gatehouse.
How do you know?
You can see the telephone wires running to the chimney. Jack, you run over there and get in through the window. I noticed it was open when we came past. Ring the police and ask to speak to Inspector Harris.
Right. Let's just hope there's no one in there.
Now, you lot, stay here and keep an eye on the gang.
Where are you going?
Over to the lorry. I've got an idea. I shan't be long.
Peter disappeared into the fog on his mysterious errand, and Jack went off to the gatehouse. The minutes ticked by, and nothing could be heard except the muttered voices of the gang busy unloading the lead from the truck. And then, after what seemed an age, a figure loomed up out of the fog.
Is that you, Jack?
Yes. Luckily there was no one in the gatehouse. Where's Peter?
Here I am. Did you get through?
Yes.
Are the police on their way?
Yes. The police station's not far, so they should be here any minute now. What have you been doing?
You'll see. All we've got to do now is wait, and just hope that the police get here before the crooks have finished.
Is that it, Larry?
That's the lot, boss. We're ready to go.
Well, what's keeping Zeb?
Here I am, boss.
Right, let's get out of here fast. Into the lorry, quick.
Inspector Harris, you're just in time. They're over there.
Right. Come on, men. Grab them.
Start her up, Zeb, you idiot. What's the matter with you? Drive the lorry at them if they try to stop us.
I can't find the key. It's disappeared.
The game's up, Charlie. You're surrounded. Are you coming quietly or not?
Is this what you're looking for, Zeb?
It's the key. The kids have got the key. Why, you...
All right. That's enough. Take them down to the station.
All right.
Well, that was a smart piece of work. I'll walk back with you. There's no room in the cars for me. A bit of a squash in there at the moment. Jenkins, go and have a word with the driver and the guard and tell them what's happening.
The next evening there was a very special meeting of the Secret Seven. Only this time there were 8 people present. The 8th person was a guest. None other than Inspector Harris himself.
And I would just like to say, in conclusion, that it is an honour to be here. And I thank you all for your help in rounding up Cheeky Charlie and his gang. He's been robbing goods trains all over the place, but we've never been able to get a lead on him until now. He's a clever fellow, but not quite so clever as the Secret Seven.
Thank you, sir. And now I would like to call for 3 cheers for the Famous Five in appreciation of their putting us on the track of the most exciting adventure we've had for a long time. Hip hip!
Hooray!
Hip hip!
Hooray!